So let's see what are the disadvantages and what are the drawbacks in this. There is presently no legal framework to protect the banker or the forfeiter except the existing cover for the risk involved in any foreign transaction. So here there is presently no legal framework, so no legally they are not going to write anything, so there may be a chances of doing a fraudulent things in this. So because of the no legal framework of this particular things, there may be a chance of getting the fraudulent things. So that is a drawback for the forfeiting here. And the next one is data available on credit rating agencies or the importer or the foreign country is not sufficient. So whatever the data you'll get from the agencies or the importer or the foreign countries is not sufficient to make the transactions in a proper way. Even exim bank does not cover high risk countries like Nigeria. So even though the like country like Nigeria also, they are not going to have much information regarding these things, so it will be a disadvantage for the forfeiting. Next, high country and political risk dissuade the service of forfeiting and banking to many clients. So there may be because of high population, high things, they cannot maintain a complete records of this particular forfeiting thing. So that is one of the disadvantage we can treat it as. And the next one is government agencies and the public sector undertakings neither promptly make payments nor pay interest on delay payments. So this is also one of the disadvantages. So the governments or the public sector company, they are not going to make prompt payments or due payments which they have to pay it. So it is also a drawback we can say. And the next one is, and the last one is, the assignment of books debt attracts heavy stamp duty and this has to be waived. So here after maintaining the information in a proper documents, assignment of book debt attracts heavy stamps, so they may not bear that much stamps and all. So that can also be treated as one of the drawback here. And the next one is, legislation is required to make assignment and the factoring have priority over other assignments. And the next one is, there should be some provisions in law to exempt factory organization from the provisions of money lending legislation. So whenever they want to exit, they can exit. So because of that, it will be a loss for the forfeiting company. So these are the disadvantages. And the last topic in the fourth unit is forfeiting in India. So how forfeiting will take place in India, we'll come to know. If you want to do the forfeiting in India, firstly you have to approach the Exim Bank. So without the Exim Bank permission, without the Exim Bank permission, you cannot enter into the forfeiting business. So with the help of the Exim banks only, whatever the procedure, whatever the documents, whatever the things are there, that will be done through the Exim banks only. In India, forfeiting is done by Exim Bank. The minimum value of forfeiting transaction is 5 lakhs. So here, if you want to do the forfeiting, the minimum balance, minimum value of forfeiting transaction is, it should be 5 lakhs. A special form of pronate bill has to be used for forfeiting transaction. As India exporter who wants to avail of the service has to approach the Exim banks through his bank. So here, without the prior intimation to the Exim bank, without the prior permission from the Exim bank, without submitting all the documents to the Exim banks, you cannot enter into the forfeiting business. You cannot surrender your values to the other person. So with the help of these Exim banks only, you can do that. And the Exim bank would obtain the forfeiting quotation from the forfeiting agency abroad. So here they are going to get the quotation from the forfeiting agency from the abroad. Then based upon this, the exporter would work out his price to quote to the importer. So after getting these things, then he's going to quote the price for the importer. If the importer accepts the price and the payment terms, the contract would be finalized and executed. So if the importer is okay with the price, if he is okay with all the terms and conditions, then the process would be executed. The exporter would then get cash through forfeiting arrangements, for which he has to enter into a separate contract with the forfeiting through the Exim Bank. So where here if the importer is okay, then the exporter is going to get the payment, and the further processes will be done by the Exim Bank only. However, in order to encourage forfeiting finance business, it is necessary to export contracts in lending international currencies. In the wake of economic liberalization and opening of our economy to the global market, there are good prospects for forfeiting business in India. So whenever you want to do a business in India, there are some rules and regulations you have to follow. And to promote facilitating business, it is essential that we should denominate our trade contracts in foreign currencies rather than in Indian rupees. So whenever you want to enter into the forfeiting things, instead of using the Indian rupees, you have to use the foreign currencies. Now, since the rupee has gained strength, it is time for us to uh, denominate our trade obligations in foreign currencies so that the piece of forfeiting business may be accelerated, mainly to boost our export trade. So here, with the help of all those things, the forfeiting can be possible in India. So this is regarding forfeiting in India. With this, I have completed the 4th unit. Go through the video. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the group. I'll clarify your doubts. So tomorrow I'll start with 5th unit. Thank you.